Part 3. The Nameless Void. When the person beside you no longer feels your shave. You ever felt like you were disappearing inside your own marriage? Not abandoned, not betrayed, but still there, just no longer seen. As time passed, everything in my life still seemed perfect. A good husband, a well-behaved child, a family anyone would envy. But only I knew, the only thing changing was my own emotions. My husband was still the same, still responsible, still devoted, still working hard, still loving his family. It's just that love was no longer for me. All his attention revolved around our child. What did the child eat today? Does the child have a fever? Did the child sleep well last night? And me? The days I was tired, he didn't ask. The days I was sad, he didn't notice. The days I was silent, he didn't realize. It wasn't that he didn't care, it's just that he had poured all his attention into someone else. At first, I comforted myself. The child is still young. Things will get better. It's just a phase. But that phase lasted from one day to the next. Evenings came. We were in the same room, but living into different worlds. He held our child, and I held myself. There were nights I stared at the ceiling for hours, listening to our child's steady breathing, listening to him turning in bed, and feeling, so clearly, how deeply lonely I was. I really tried. One time, I gently placed my hand on his chest, not asking for anything too much, just wanting to feel close, to remember that I was still his wife. But he gently moved my hand away, so soft, so familiar. Don't. The child might wake up. That sentence again. I wasn't angry. I didn't blame him. But it felt like my heart was being squeezed. Not because he rejected me, but because the way he did it felt so natural, as if it was obvious. I turned my back, said nothing more, and that night, I didn't sleep. The nights after that were the same. I began to realize something I had never dared to think before. He was still a good husband, but he was no longer my man. He didn't cheat. He wasn't cold. He didn't do anything wrong. But he no longer desired me, no longer looked at me the way a man looks at the woman he loves. And that was the most terrifying part. I slowly got used to lying next to my husband yet feeling alone. During the day, I smiled like normal, worked, met friends, joined activities. No one knew how empty I felt inside. Sometimes, I stood in front of the mirror, looking at myself. I was still beautiful, still young, still the woman he once wanted. So why now? Did he no longer need me? That question kept repeating in my mind. Until one day, everything changed. That year's class reunion, I almost didn't go, but then, I did. And that night, I met someone again. Someone, I thought, belonged completely to the past. My ex. He stood there, same eyes, same smile. But one thing was different. When he looked at me, there was still emotion. Not like the man lying beside me every night. In that moment, I didn't know whether to feel happy or afraid, because I sensed this encounter would change everything. What happens when a woman, lonely in her marriage, meets the man who once made her heart race? Is it a chance to feel loved again, or the beginning of an irreversible mistake? Don't miss part 4, the awakened flame, when the line between right and wrong begins to blur. Hit like and subscribe now so you won't miss the next part. Trust me, from here on, the story will not go the way you expect.